So I want to share with you another video today on the can I retire or not. Today is someone who's asking, hey listen, can I retire on the assets that I currently have, and I want to have about $150,000 in income after taxes and not run out of money. So this example today is someone who has about $2 million in liquid assets, a home worth about $750,000, and they want to make sure that they aren't going to run out of cash. They are 65 years of age, still working for another 2 years until they're about 67 years of age, and they'll kick on some Social Security. So that's kind of the setup. I'll walk you right through it. Let's see how quickly they're going to run out of cash, or if they're going to make it to age 100 or not. So on this first screen here, I've got Ben and Jennifer, hypothetical. You know, these are all fun made-up names. And we've got Ben is working for company ABC, makes about $150,000 a year. He's 65 years of age currently, and he wants to retire in about 2 years, or January 2026. We're recording in 2024. And Jennifer, his wife, works for XYZ, makes about $75,000 a year, and she wants to retire at the same time. Of course she does. And so they can enjoy the grandkids and all those other fun things going into retirement. If I scroll down, we can see the Social Security benefits is going to be their first source of income at retirement. We've got Ben at 67 turning on his Social Security along with Jennifer at the same time. Those gross monthly benefits are for Ben $3,546, and it is $2,533 for Jennifer. Now, if I hit this calculator button right here, and at their full retirement age, if I know their primary insurance amount, it will tell me what it is at 62, 63, 64, what those benefits are going to be. So you can see I put in $3,500 for Ben for his full retirement age and $2,500 for Jennifer. And then you can see on the right hand side is hers at 62 if she were to turn it on early, or at 63 how much it would be. And so I'm going to start them out at 67. I'm not saying that is what I'm suggesting to do for everybody. I just need some sort of a basis, some place to start here. And then what we can do is kind of figure out how much money they want, where that money's going to come from, which assets to take it from, what type of portfolios we're going to do, and then does it make sense to turn it on at 67 or not, not including any sort of tax planning that we're not going to cover today. The 5 core things that that I'm always looking for are going to be, number one is income. Do we have enough money to make sure that we aren't going to outlive it and be a burden on loved ones? I hear that all the time. Tony, make sure I don't outlive my money. The second thing I hear all the time is, Tony, make sure that I really want to get the greatest returns for the least amount of risk. I can't afford to have huge losses in retirement. Number 3 is taxes. I'll pay my fair share in taxes, but I certainly don't want to pay more than I have to. 4 is please make sure that we're covered on our health insurance, especially where long-term care comes into play. How's that going to work in our particular state? Because I don't want to have to spend down all of our assets, and if I'm married, I certainly don't want to put the person I love the most in some sort of a poverty situation or a really bad situation. Then once those 4 are done, then we want to wrap it up with a proper legal advice and take care of wills and trusts to finalize everything. Those are the kind of the core 5. So as I'm working basically this case study today, we're mostly talking about income. Can they make it on $2 million for about $150,000 net in their checking account? So moving on, this is what they have for Social Security. That's pretty nice. I'm going to use this cost of living adjustment on the COLA. Cost of living adjustment for Social Security for the last 10 years has been 2.75, and for the last 50 years it's been 3.70. Now often I'll lower this number down to 2. I kind of like to work these in a worst case scenario. That way when we're throwing curveballs in our retirement, we can still hit the ball out of the park and we're going to be just fine. So you'll often see me come back in here and lower this, and when we're designing a case specifically for you, we'll have that conversation about, what do you feel comfortable with? Let's see if, COLA was only, 2% or 2.5 or whatever. I really like lowering that a little bit. Pensions, in this particular case, we're not going to do any pensions. And I'm going to go over to tab number 2, which is our assets, and let's take a look at this approximately $2.2 million in liquid assets, where they're coming from. So hypothetical Ben here, he's got a 401k at work. He's investing in these target funds that I can't stand, and he's got about $1 million in his current 401k, and he's contributing about $1,500 a month in his plan. Jennifer, on the other hand, she's got a 401k as well too, and she's got about $500,000 not contributing. The family line 3, 4, and 5 have 3 CDs. This is after-tax dollars here. One CD for $75,000, and a CD for $150,000, and the third CD for another $150,000. So if we scroll down just a little bit, number 6, they've got a high yield savings account. Maybe they went online to bankrate.com, maybe through American Express or some company. They've got a high yield savings account, whatever today's rates are paying. They've got about $250,000 sitting in that high yield savings account. Completely liquid. I like it. No problems with that. After tax dollars are very important. Number 7 is they got a joint account of checking and savings, about $25,000 sitting in that account. And then Ben has a Roth and Jennifer has a Roth. And they are both about $50,000 a piece. Now, I want you to notice, this is usually what I see is a big problem to start with. You know, they've done a fantastic job of saving money, but their biggest assets are all in qualified assets, their 401k. So they got this huge amount of money inside of their accounts that haven't been taxed yet. And they have very little amount in Roth. I really want to see better diversification here. So the first thing I would say is if you don't know this, taxes are going higher. January of 2026, it's already set in stone that tax brackets are going up. And I really would like to see this couple have already done this in the past, or immediately, right away, the first thing they should be doing is looking at tax planning options. How can we get this money out of this IRA without going through a tax bath? And they're going to here if they don't start implementing some tax planning. So they need to do that between their CPA and their financial advisor. They got to get money out of this thing before it unnecessarily taxes their Social Security and causes all sorts of other problems. So this is the assets, and I'm going to scroll down. You're going to see that they've got a house here, jointly owned. FC stands for free and clear. They don't owe anything on it. House is worth about $750,000. And I'm using a weighted portfolio weighted average of less than 5%. So I don't want you to think that, listen, I use some crazy 8, 9, 10% rate of return to help these guys out to make sure their money lasts to close to age 100. I'm trying to be what I believe to be is more of a conservative rate of return. Now we all know we don't get 4.94, 4.94, 4.94% rate of return every year. It could be 7 one year, down 8% one year, up 4 one year, down 2% one year. We know it's not consistent every single year. So we do some stress testing in the software. If I get time, I'll show you that, but I do want to just get to are they going to make it or not? So the spendable assets, they've got 2.250 to be exact on the spendable assets, which was at the top. And then that $750,000, that was the house for a total net worth of $3 million. So obviously can't use the house, but we're going to use these liquid net worth to get them through retirement. At least we're not going to sell the house. So I'm going to come over to tab 3, the expense tab, and you can see if they want about $150,000 net in their checking account to maintain their standard of living in their retirement years, we need to get them about $12,500 a month. And if I click this inflation history button right here, you'll see the last 10-year average has been 2.82. And the last 110-year average has been 3.27. Now, there can be all sorts of arguments here, and this is a lot of fun for me. You can see in 2023 it was 3.45, in 2022 it was 6.5, 2021 7, and then these later years it was a little bit less. But we can have this argument all day long, but I want to say this, that I'm going to use 2.5%. And if I raise it quite a bit, you're going to see funds tank pretty fast. If I lower it too much, you're going to see like they've got an astronomical amount of money. Realistically is when someone retires, let's say that first decade, that first 10 years, I like to call it the go-go years, right? They retire in this particular case at 67, so 67 to 77, that 10 years approximately, they're traveling. Right, they're seeing across the United States. Maybe they're going across the country. They're spending time with grandkids. They're being the most active, usually in that first decade. And then that second decade, that's kind of the slow go years, and then that third decade are pretty much the no go years. So we could have a fun argument about the inflation rate actually could possibly come down based on the things that we're purchasing or needing as we are getting a little bit older. But I don't want to get into that. today. Let's just have fun. Let's keep it at 2.5. And if you want to challenge me and you have me raise it to 3 or whatever, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to shoot another video and give you a couple other examples. So that's our case study here. I'm going to jump over to this retirement tab, and we're going to see how long the money lasts. And basically we get red line. Red line basically means that we are out of money at the age of 99. Not too shabby. Most people like to see between at least age 85 and 95. I like to personally get it to at least 100 if I can. That leaves me cushion those curveballs that I've been thrown as an advisor. So as that happens through retirement, I know that I've got some cushion that we're going to be okay. And I'm also, I believe, using a conservative rate of return over that time period. So I feel pretty good here. Here's the net worth. Let's kind of come down here and see where money's coming from. So if I scroll down here, you can see they retire in 2026. Benin is 67, Jennifer is 67, and we are going to kick on the Social Security in this example. Again, not saying that's what we should be doing. This is just a hypothetical case. So you can see Ben's Social Security, $35.46. Jennifer's Social Security is $2,533. If I had some positive monthly cash flow, that could be from anywhere, let's say from rental properties, oil rights, gas rights, things like that. We're keeping this case simple. They need to pull out though. This is based on inflation. This is the net monthly expense at 2.5% inflation rate. So by the year 2026, they're going to need $13,351. So that's the same as the 12.5 that they wanted in today's dollars. And you can see that is going to go up every single year. Okay, so here you can see the net cash flow, and this basically says, okay, well, if we're getting $6,000 over here from Social Security, I got to pull out over $7,000 out of our assets. And then next year I'm going to have to pull out $7,450. And the year after that, so it's going up and up and up. And where do we pull money from? Again, I'm not saying this is exactly where we would pull assets from. This is just a hypothetical case. I'm keeping this one fun and easy today. But you can see if I hover my mouse over these spendable assets, these are these accounts that we have got. And the first one is, let's see, it's Ben's IRA or his 401k. So we're pretending we're going to yank out, what is that, $80,000-ish out of his account from his 401k account. Now, we obviously would move it to a traditional IRA before we started making withdrawals, but keeping it simple here. So you can see he's got $1,088 on, or $1 million, sorry, $1,000,000. So you could say over $1 million here, almost 1.1. And then if I go down to the year 2027, you can see that portfolio balance on the top line right there has gone to $1,030,000. Right, we're pulling out quite a bit of money here. And then the next year it went to $960,000. Right, and then the next year went to $881,000. But at the same time, at the bottom, all the other accounts that we're not touching, you can see those accounts are growing for us. We're not touching, we're not dipping into those. So you see right there, we've got the second account, $667,000 approximately, and then the next year you see it went up to $700,000. And then that line 2 there, the $700,000 went to $736,000. And then it grew to $597,000. So we're pulling assets from one account and the other accounts are growing. And we're not even talking about tax planning. I can't tell you how much the potential by doing the proper tax planning early in retirement, what enhancement that could possibly make to this case. But we're not going into that today. So that is the money lasting all the way to age 99. I like to come over to this life insurance tab. If we had some life insurance, maybe we've got some term insurance or maybe some ULs or IULs with some cash values that we could dip into and use that as tax-free dollars. I love that. The portfolios, or what are we doing here? We could do traditional portfolios. We could do tactical, strategic, all sorts of different types of things here. Dividend portfolios. If you watch any of my videos, you all know that I love dividend portfolios in retirement. We can receive about $94,000 a year completely tax-free if we're using dividend portfolios. And I could drop in some long-term care. I just want to say this, that long-term care is often one of the biggest reasons that a financial plan falls apart when people aren't prepared. We don't want to leave our loved ones in poverty because we had to spend down all those assets. So we want to make sure that that is a part of our core planning. And then the market test. So if we come in here, like I said, we don't get a 5% rate of return every single year. That's ridiculous. The rates of return are all over the place. So let's go in here and stress test this just for fun. this left-hand column shows this almost 5% average that we're getting. But on this right-hand side, this market comparison, what if in the first 3 years after retirement, the market's down 10%? And then the next year it's down 13. And then the next year it's down 23. So we have almost a 50% loss in the first 3 years after retirement. This is why it's so important to be prepared and to be doing reviews often with your advisor, because if this is starting to happen, you need to stop and shift where we're taking assets from. Because watch this, if we scroll down, you can see in that scenario, just by the first 3 years having a problem, we run out of money at the age of 88 in the year 2047. We're redlined over here because we had 3 years to start with that were ugly, versus the left-hand side, if we start off really good, we make it all the way to age 99 or right at 100. So I would never let this happen. If I started to see the market turn on us, we are not going to be yanking a ton of money out of a portfolio that's also dropping at the same time. You have to have money positioned in multiple different places and be proactive before that happens. Now, one strategy, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I get this question often, is what if we implemented an annuity? Now, let me say this. For all the people who are going to leave a ton of comments below or shoot me a bunch of email. I'll say this. I actually agree with you. I do not like probably 99% of the annuities that are out there. I even wrote a book in 2018 that still is very, very accurate to today. It's only $15 on Amazon. This is not a horrible plug or anything like that. We donate 100% of the proceeds to Feeding America, so go out there and grab a copy of it. I promise you, if you're looking at one, you definitely need to read this book before you do, because there's a lot of I gotchas in those annuities that you need to know about. If you laid 100 annuities out on the table today, I truly probably only use about 3 or 4 of them that I truly know is the best interest for our customers. And there's just too many bells and whistles on them. And there's what you got to understand. The biggest things are caps, spreads, par rates that usually dramatically reduce what can be earned in these things. And the insurance companies who own these annuities have the right often to change those, reduce the upside opportunity for you. So it's easy to get into them, and it can be very disappointing once you find out how they work, and almost impossible to get out. So be very, very, very careful. Please get a copy of my book, read it to make sure you understand what you're getting into before you put $1 into an annuity. So I'm going to show you one that maybe I like. So what I'm doing here, and this is no particular order, I just want to show you what it could potentially do. So I took Jennifer's, if you remember, line number 2, she had $500,000 sitting at risk in the stock market, right? The market goes up, she makes money. The market goes down, she loses money. And I shifted that down to an immediate or an income benefit annuity. Oh, actually, I've been on here. Let's see, to Jennifer. And I've got ABC Company, because we're not talking specific products here. We're just giving you general ideas. This was a traditional IRA for her, had about $500,000. We moved out of her 401k into an annuity, and it's going to give a joint payout to her and Ben, husband and wife, for both of their lives, as long as they live, till the day they die, about $3,400 a month in benefit. So if you recall, I'm going to go back over here. We're going to take a look in their current scenario. They run out of money at the age of 99. This is with $1 million in Ben's account, $500,000 in Jennifer's account, and then these CDs in high yield savings account. So all I'm doing, I'm just going to take $500,000 and I'm going to drop it right down in here into this annuity, and let's just see if that helps them out or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to come here, and you can now see that $500,000 is moved out of Jennifer's account. It's being shifted down to an annuity that's going to provide a stream of income for them for $3,400 a month when they retire in 2026. And when I go to my retirement tab, they go from 0 at age 100. It adds, looks like another $127,000. So does it maybe not seem like a whole lot of money to you? But let's take a look at this. How that might help is, instead of pulling out $7,000 to almost $8,000 a month out of their assets, now I'm only pulling out $4,500 a month. So now I have a little bit more flexibility, especially in a down market. The market's down, then that annuity in whichever one you might use. There's some out there that say that when the market's down, you don't lose any money. When the market's up, you get to participate in the gains. And this annuity here is designed that way, but it's more designed to basically to provide a guaranteed income. So you can see we don't have to pull out as much money because we've got the Social Security in 2026 happening. And then here's the annuity that is coming out. And now I only have to pull out $4,500 a month. And so basically that makes the money last. If you come down to the bottom, right, it makes the money last quite a bit longer. So I just wanted to share with you a couple ideas of, can I retire on $2 million and pull out, what do we say, $150,000 a year? In this particular case, it looks like they're going to be just fine. And remember, this is only one of the core 5 that I'm talking about. Number 1, income planning. Number 2 is investments, get the greatest returns for the least amount of risk. Number 3, then we do tax planning. We didn't even talk about tax planning, which is only going to enhance this case here completely. Number 4 is going to be healthcare, which is including our long-term care, which needs to be conversation talked about in this case because they don't have any. That could be a huge detriment if something were to happen to Ben. We want Jennifer to be just fine in this scenario. And then number 5, working with the proper licensed legal attorneys to handle wills and trust. And then all the miscellaneous things that come along the way. So I hope this helped. Hope this give you an idea of, it doesn't matter if you have $500,000 or $5 million or somewhere in between. We just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what the software looks like and you know where you would particularly be at. So hope you enjoyed this video, and always remember to consult a licensed professional who understands your specific goals and dreams.